Hello, Capricorn. Oh, sorry, Goku. Welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres, and I will be the one taking care of you for this reading. And I will be using the help from these three homies. These homies are same, but different. All right, this is the most fun I felt out of the readings I've been doing today. This is the most more fun I've been feeling. It's not anything to do with you or me, but just wanted to point that out. There's a reason. There should be a reason that I'm feeling this giddy. All right. I'll start with the Two of Wands, Dominion. Okay. Wands is fire, movement. What are your reasons to move? Oh, and I jumped right to it on the book. That was pretty cool. Huh, interesting. I jumped right to it. Mars in Aries. Following the basic Mather's design, the Two of Wands exhibits a textbook use of the color scale. The reds of Aries upon an explosive background of martial reds, azure, and emerald. The colors inform us in no uncertain terms that Mars is very happy in Aries, and that Aries is happy to play host to Mars. Crowley observed that this strong astrological marriage in Chakma, which is number 2, where the elements first manifest, makes the Two of Wands fire in its best and highest form, and represents what he calls will in its most exalted form, ideal will, independent of any given object. So it sounds like your very most basic will. So like in the show, for some reason I can't think of the name of the show. But all of the robots in that show all have like a deep core memory that they're kind of based around in. So I would imagine that us humans are also built that way. There is like a core memory that we kind of base our personality off of. So the wands are demon-headed Tibetan Georges. Like the thunderbolt of Zeus, and the Doge represents the directed power of the gods, and serves as the instrument of divine destruction that must, of necessity, perceive the creative cycle. The virgin ovum, Crowley claims, must be broken in order to fertilize it. The 6 flames bursting behind the Doges allude to the sun, which is exalted in Aries and very happy to be there. Dominion is the burst forth of energy to begin creating. Ooh, and it's paired with the Prince of Cups, which is also the Knight of Cups. And, OG Tarot. There's this cool fire combining with water that I find interesting, and I like the color scheme. Prince of Cups. Okay. This is a court card. The Heir of Water. Prince of Cups. Okay. The crest is an eagle. Symbol scorpion, eagle serpent issuing from the lake. The Prince of the Chariot of the Waters. The moral characteristics of the person pictured in this card are subtlety, secret violence, and craft. He is intensely secret, an artist in all his ways. He is in fact perfectly ruthless. With style worthy of a comic book cover. Yeah, I agree. This is a really cool illustration. Harris's Prince of Cups makes a spectacular entrance by busting bursting straight busted. He's busted by bursting straight at us from a crashing wave. His chariot drawn by an enormous black eagle. Yeah, what an entrance that would be, huh? Straight busted. His left hand grasps a cup out of which rises a snake. In his right hand he holds an enormous lotus blossom. Yeah, what a guy, this guy. I have to believe that Crowley had an unpleasant experience with the Prince of Cups. Everyone born between October 13th and November 12th manifested all the dark and chilling qualities Crowley ascribes to this card. Then 1/12 of the population of the planet would be melodrama villains. While that may have been true of Princes of Cups, Lee Harvey Oswald, and Leon Trotsky, there is still great strength and potential in this card. Libra passing over to Scorpio is a very strong moment, but the active characteristics of air in the passive environment of water makes an uneasy combination. Like foaming bubbles exploding from an under-chilled bottle of champagne, these two elements do not care if they ruin the party or the furniture. They just want to get out and away from each other. To me, that is why Crowley describes the Prince of Cups as completely without conscience in the ordinary sense of the word, and is therefore usually distrusted by his neighbors. Like an explosion, like this guy just, yeah, I guess, yeah, you could see this guy coming in and ruining the party, you know. Transformation. Ooh, okay, look at, and these guys seem very similar. That's interesting. Look at that color schemes. Oh, and these are two different decks. Okay, so that's it. That's cool. That's interesting. I also have rarely seen this card. All right, we're in Capricorn, huh? 13. Yeah, I've rarely seen this card pop up. Transformation. That's so cool that they look so similar. That's so cool. Okay. The central figure in this card sits atop the vast flower of the void and holds the symbols of transformation. The sword that cuts through illusion. The snake that rejuvenates itself by shedding its skin. Here comes the snake again. The broken chain of limitations and the yin-yang symbol transcending duality. There's the lotus blossom again also. He's also holding into it. And this guy is holding a snake, and this guy is holding a snake. Okay. One of its hands rests on its lap, open and receptive. The other reaches down to touch the mouth of a sleeping face, symbolizing the silence that comes when we are at rest. It is a time for a deep let go. Allow any pain, sorrow, or difficulty just to be there, accepting its facticity. It is very much like the experience of Gautama Buddha when, after years of seeking, he finally gave up, knowing there was nothing more that he could do. That very night he became enlightened. Transformation comes like death in its own time, and like death it takes you from one dimension into another. This is a major arcana, so this is something that happens to us, not something that we can practice. Master in Zen is not simply a teacher. In all the religions there are only teachers. They teach you about subjects which you don't know, and they ask you to believe because there is no way to bring those experiences into objective reality. Neither has the teacher known them. He has believed them. He transfers his belief to somebody else. Zen is not a believer's world. It is not for the faithful ones. It is for those daring souls who can drop all belief, unbelief, doubt, reason, mind, and simply enter into their pure existence without boundaries. But it brings a tremendous transformation. Hence, let me say that while others are involved in philosophies, Zen is involved in metamorphosis, in a transformation. It is authentic alchemy. It changes you from base metal into gold, but its language has to be understood, not with your reasoning and intellectual mind, but with your loving heart. You're even just listening, not bothering whether it is true or not, and a moment comes subtly that you see it, which has been eluding you your whole life. Suddenly, what Gautama Buddha called 84,000 doors open. Isolation. Interesting. Okay, this is a interesting reading, Capricorn. This is, and I started out with a lot of fun, huh? So all of this crazy stuff that is happening can in essence be seen as having some fun. So we are in the Three of Clouds, or of the mind, isolation. In our society, men in particular have been taught not to cry, to put a brave face on things when they get hurt, and not show that they are in pain. But women can fall into this trap too, and all of us at one time or another might feel that the only way to survive is to close off our feelings and emotions so we can't be hurt again. If our pain is particularly deep, we might even try to hide it from ourselves. This can make us frozen, rigid, because deep down we know that one small break in the ice will free the hurt to start circulating through us again. The rainbow-colored tears on this person's face hold the key to breaking out of this isolation. The tears, and only the tears, have the power to melt the ice. It's okay to cry, and there's no reason to feel ashamed of your tears. Crying helps us to let go of pain, and allows us to be gentle with ourselves, and finally helps us to heal. Yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said. The Fool, interesting. Going back around, going back to the beginning. The Fool, a new start. Now is look at it. The flower bloomed. He's still got a flower in his hand, though. And who knows what's in that bag? It's probably all of these other items that he had. Interesting. Both of these guys are by themselves, alone. And look at the difference. This guy's having a great time, even though, well, he's technically not alone. There's a dog with him. All right, let's read The Fool. Potential, new beginnings, freedom. Innocence, blank slate, optimism. The upright Fool is representative of the infinite potential that we all have within us. She is the source of primal energy, innocent and free, a blank slate that later becomes molded as she undertakes the path of self-knowledge. She throws her heart into adventure without fear. The Fool can signal the start of a new path, one that is full of risk but also great rewards. You may be yearning for new beginnings and adventures into the unknown. What would you do if nothing stood in your way? Have you been given a chance to experience a new world, whether in the form of a change in career, an exciting new romance, or a trip to a new country? The Fool's optimism will serve you well during these voyages. Be curious. Tap into your sense of adventure, wonder, and curiosity. Opportunities are available everywhere as long as you have the eyes and inclination to look for them. Explore new territories. Consider what new experiences are awaiting you that you haven't yet embraced because of fear. Now is a good time to try new things and let go of expectations. Perhaps you play into expectations that are not aligned with who you want to be and your highest potential. Maybe as simple as changing your style or as complex as a career change. So this this transformation, yeah. Wow. 3 of Cups to end it, huh? Celebration. Look at that. You did it. This is celebration with other people as well. Because the cups, our emotions, also relate to others. About friendship, social circle, party, collaboration, and celebrations. Friendship and social gatherings are at the heart of this card. When the Fool expands her love toward more people, she finds friendship, camaraderie, mutual support, and compassion. This card can also indicate social events, parties, weddings, birthdays, and holidays, anything that brings people together. When it comes to creative projects, and not necessarily holidays, just anything that brings people together is what this card is about. And when it comes to creative projects, this card also relates to collaboration. Relating with other people. How important are friendships to you? What makes a good friend? What brings you together? Social circles can shape our identities. Through others, we find mirrors for ourselves. Friends point out blind spots and help us see things about ourselves that we take for granted. Has a friend helped you understand yourself better? Learn from friends. Think back to a lesson that a friend taught you about yourself and consider how your perspective changed. It is through friendship that we can grow emotionally. Be open to friends' teachings. They can be strong inspirations for you now. Widen your social circle. Every new person you meet can be a source of inspiration, support, and compassion. Enjoy. Happy times are here. Sit back and enjoy being around others. Comfort can be found within your social circle. Interesting. Within that circle. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's a nice transformation. Going from this to all of that, man. Hell yeah. All right. Capricorn. Let's get some last advice from the Office Oracle deck. And we'll start with interesting. Just hug it out, bitch. Especially if it deals with yourself. Has it been a weird color that whole time? I have no idea, but I just saw it change. Interesting, I just saw it change. And it was not until almost the very end. I don't know if it did change and it was a different color. I don't know. But he saw that change. Oof. Here, I'll put these one after the other. Hug it out, right? Just hug it out, bitch. Especially if it deals with yourself, especially. Or even if it relates to other people, just hug it out, bitch. Did I stutter? Stanley Hutton, the universe. Yep. Oh, opportunities, huh? We were just talking about, those last two cards were about opportunities. Being more excited, optimistic. Big changes fast. That transformation. So coasting time is officially over. Big changes are coming and they're coming fast. If you don't like them, this is called a door. And you can walk right through it. And then Oscar says, they sound like good ideas. Why wouldn't we like them? So good changes are coming and they're coming at you fast. Nice. There's a transformation that's happening. Make sure to have fun while it's happening.
A ti como que se te olvida con quién tú estás hablando.
Los teles.